Yeah.
And
They
I
can't
think
get it. They'll just take it.
I can understand that. So you have a podcast. What's the name of your podcast?
Scareo, Scareo. And Scareo is urban legends, paranormal, proof of afterlife, Old West. We do the scary Old West, that stuff.
So do you do that once a week?
Oh yeah. We don't have a set day for release. In fact, we use Soundwise for our podcast host. They're having a problem with their RSS feed, so I may be changing. But yeah, if you go to scareo.com, yeah. But we release, and most of our stuff is theater, like radio theater, so that it's got sound effects and radio. We don't interview, but we can. Once in a while, we do an interview like this too, like we're doing now, which is fun.
Mm-hmm. So. Right up my alley. I like that. No, I've been, I checked around when I started, and I'm at Libsyn.
Oh yeah.
Hands down, best place to be. It's cheap too.
All right.
And
okay.
And I haven't had a problem yet, knock on wood, but,
right.
So that's cool. How long have you been doing the podcast?
Oh gosh, we've been narrating the books for 4 years. We're in our 4th year, and that's really successful. We started with a couple of tech giants, and we couldn't make them run. Maybe it's something where we just don't agree with podcast software, but we started with big names, and neither one of them would work. And so we finally got on with Soundwise, and it was working. And then just this week, I've been emailing them, and they're going, our engineers are on it. And I'm like, what in the world? How could this possibly, they're coming out, we load them and they come out, and now it's not releasing into the RSS feed. But tech is now we're evolving into video too, like this.
Yeah.
So I'm going, I wonder, like, would Libsyn do video? Or is it strictly?
They have the ability to do that.
They do. Okay.
I should rephrase that. They have, so like once I do this, it'll shoot. I just have a still, but it shoots it to YouTube right away.
Okay.
So I haven't figured, I go in and manually upload the video because I like to clean up the edges and stuff on the video that I get. Yeah. But I also was just introduced to a new platform called, I just got the email. Where is it here? It's something rather than Zoom. Because the problem is that as you're talking and you want to say something, you almost have to talk over somebody or be polite and whatnot, and that's not always the best option when you're having a conversation because you won't interject. I can't find it for the life of me, but evidently that's the latest greatest in the recording for podcasts.
Right.
And I can
it's a exciting and interesting area. I mean, if you find it, I'm like every day I'm on this, I'm looking at all of this because the evolution's so fast.
Oh my God. And there's so much competition. There's so many people out there doing it. I've been looking around on a few sites because I'm actually pretty good with the editing and that kind of a thing. Just to do some editing for people's podcasts and whatnot. It's kind of a niche, but everybody and their brother's doing it right now. And I don't think that it's called StreamYard.
StreamYard. I know. Yeah. We'll be doing that. We've done a couple with authors, never done a podcast yet. So we'll see. Then there's Squadcast and Zencaster, Restreamio. Those are all Stream. I've heard good things, but they're all evolving. And there's a new one called by some big monster developer. And I'm on their wait list, and they email me all the time. It's one of those coming soon. We're all excited. Here it comes. Hang on tight. We're coming. Now I'm to the point where, whatever. I mean, there's a striptease, and then there's a slow striptease. You get bored and leave, man.
So you do scary on the podcast, but you do romance in the novels.
Right. Well, the romance started because the fans are the best. If you ever do, if you go to conferences, the authors are rock stars. They hold conferences where they sign their books. And then, we're kind of like the little stepchildren next to the author. We narrated the book, but the people line up at 8 a.m. to get in at noon. And they're there, and they come in, they're real excited to get selfies and get autographs. And they're just the best fans. They really are. Scary.
You guys?
Go ahead, sorry.
With you guys, even not just the author, but with you guys too?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So cool.
Yeah. because a lot of them have read, there'll be a series of books sometimes, motorcycle bikers or rock stars, and then there'll be 2, 3, 4 books. When we narrate all of them, a lot of people have read them and narrated them. Then they get the autograph, like from the author and from the narrators too. And it's just, they really love the books, and they're really great fans. They're loyal, they're active, they'll do you favors. Like they'll send you, we got this picture of you at a conference, and it's like stalkers, but you like them. They're very great. They're really the best.
Noticed,
yeah.
Right? You can still go outside without getting noticed, right?
Yes. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Unless he starts speaking. Oh, yeah. I've heard that voice. Oh,
yeah. People do recognize sometimes at a conference. They'll know. Oh my God, I know who's talking over there, because we tend to we hang together, so they'll notice. They'll go, oh, I know who that is. I know who that is. But it's when they hear us, not when they. Yeah.
Wow.
Sometimes they see us. I don't know. You saw our picture with me in a cowboy hat.
Yeah.
That's our marketing picture. So a lot of them recognize us, because there's a guy who's really popular who's never shown his face. In fact, he was narrating with a lady who's very popular. They're both really popular. She said, oh, I've got a picture in studio with me and Sebio. And the picture was of their feet. She aimed at their feet. There's no one sees them. And that just makes him mysterious, and everyone wants to hear him. They love those two. They're very popular together. So
is it
depends how you do it.
Group of people who do what you do well?
Well,
what was the first part of your?
Is there a group?
I mean, is it a pretty tight group of people that?
Oh, sure.
Novel reading or book reading?
Well, sure.
Yeah.
Well, sure. Yeah. There's a pretty tight group, and there's only a handful of couples that do the duet style like we do, where he does all the male voices and I do all the female voices. That's there's just a handful of couples that do that.
Yeah, and then it's bucks. I mean, Lauren Blakely does books where she hires ensembles. Some of our friends have been invited to be in her ensemble cast, and 6, 8, 10 people, and it's expensive because you got to get them all. Either they come to studio or they send the files, and then post-production's got to editing. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's in her books. They sell really well though. She's popular, so she can afford, and that's kind of the direction she's gone. Isn't just duet, it's ensemble cast. It's really like a movie. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and the old marketing, with Arnold Schwarzenegger and John Wayne and and Antonio Banderas, you got that. I mean, what's Sly been doing? Sly's been doing these movies where they've got tons of action stars. He'll have Jean-Claude Van Damme and what's some of those guys?
Well, and they all have a mortgage payment, so why not make a movie?
They're all in there, so that's what sells it. I think that's what she's doing, but she's doing it with narrators, and the genres have different popular guys. So like in romance, there'll be someone every romance fan knows, but they may not have heard of them over there in the horror and scary. And sometimes, like I said, they cross.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're in a paranormal group and we'll see fans who are in a romance group, and these are all growing. I mean, there's thousands of people in the listener groups, and then they'll come over and be in paranormal too. Yeah, you got to get in them too, Darren. That's what, you got to come.
I've had so many conversations lately with people about, I thought I was okay in the social media world, but I'm not. I gotta pick it up. I'm not in any kind of these groups, or I do some voiceover groups on Facebook and podcast groups on Facebook, but I'm not like an active participant.
Right.
I try to do more. If I see something funny or whatever, I'll post that. But other than that, it's not. It's not at that level yet. I need to figure that out. But I've got a couple other businesses that I run, so it's kind of like. Yeah. Eventually I'm going to have to pick something here and go after it. I'm not getting any younger, and I need to go, my thing was always to get into radio, and do voiceover. And then when I got out of school and I went to our local Brown Institute here to check it out, they're like, we're going to make like $7 an hour. And I'm like, oh, that ain't work.
Oh yeah.
So now middle segment of my life is taken out. Now I'm like, I'll work for $7 an hour. I don't care. I just want to get out there. So it's kind of evolved, and I put the studio together, and we've been interviewing people and having a great time with the podcast. We're about 1.5 years into it, and it's great because we get to meet people like you guys and network and find all these different little things that nobody knows about. I mean, I had no idea. I don't listen to romance novels on Audible or wherever they are.
iTunes, yeah.
iTunes. But it's so interesting because I've met a lot of people who do the audiobooks. How long does it take you guys to do, an average book? Like,
Yeah, that's a great question. It depends if it's just like I did a book about hydroponics. It's just news, another key feature for and I'd love to do a barbecue book, get your beef and blah, blah, blah. But acting can be hard. So if there's accents in there, if you've got to do an imitation, an impression, if there's a lot of characters, so it's a lot of fun to work those. And you get more.
Yeah. So it's just like if we talk a lot, there's a lot more editing on the back end. If there's a lot of conversation.
Yeah, because we'll practice and rehearse and do 3-4 lines to get that one right, So when you have characters, some books with a lot of characters, that's challenging. That's the highest challenge of the business is getting characters right. Yeah, wow. Keeping track of all of them.
So how long does it take then? Like really, like, are you talking?
Well, you really.
Oh man.
Yeah, it just depends. Anywhere from
a week to 2 weeks.
Well, it depends per finished hour. So
yeah.
So it takes over an hour to do an hour.
Oh yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah.
And so depending on how much time you're editing, it could be a couple hours to get one finished hour.
It depends how it's written. So if there's a lot of the guy talking and then the biggest over talk, cross talk where we're over each other is a fight, which is fun to do. But when you have to untangle it later, it's like, you stupid. Oh yeah, ditto. It takes one to know one. And you're just back and forth. That you can untangle it in editing. It's like, oh geez. But yeah, if we finish an hour in 2 hours, we're doing really good. 3 hours is kind of long. And that just, you get better with, like you saw how our one of our workflows for editing, you saw how we were using that keyboard shortcut to kill the other mic.
That was a lifesaver.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Yeah. For us too. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we were grinding it out for years without it. So if you got it
out, or was that audition that had that? You didn't come up with that, did you?
I saw an what was that called? Tutorial from Adobe Audition that was a couple years old, but I had to make the keyboard shortcut for it because the guy was pull here, go down, using the mouse. And I mean, repetitive movement, you just kill yourself. So if the faster you can get at editing, well, and performing, I mean, the better you get at performing, the more you narrate, the better you'll get. The first book is, believe me, you get a book you don't care about, or do one for fun. We did Mark Twain.
Oh, that's right.
Eve's Diary.
We did Eve's Diary just for giggles.
We did Eve's Diary, and then now I listen to it. I still love it because I love the book, but we didn't do it very well. We didn't do it justice. And
well, yeah, you don't know what you're doing in the beginning.
No. No, you're going to get your moves will get on a lot better, especially romance with practice. So you do probably 2 or 3 before you're like, okay, now I'm good. And then you change your name.
Yeah.
Little inside tip for you there. And you go to Gunnar Qualen, Jenna St. Clair. If you search for us at Audible, you won't find my real name or Allie's real name. Well, corporate stuff, little kid stuff. But when you're listening to Gunnar, he's doing scary or hot romance. We do erotica, which has, limits, but it's hot.
Yeah.
There's orgasms. I mean, you haven't really been criticized till someone says your orgasm sounds stupid. Like, listen.
Thanks, Mom.
Yeah. Thanks, Mom. All right. That was a real orgasm, lady, and they were stupid. Yeah. So you got to have a thick skin. You get in the business, you got to have a thick skin and write off the first few books for sure.
Wow.
Chalk it up.
That's a critique I hadn't thought about getting in the voiceover world. So I to you.
Yeah. Buckle up. You get some pretty weird reviews.
Auditions come through for that kind of stuff, though. Like erotic, whatever. I've seen some auditions come through, and I'm just like, I'm probably not ready for that. I better pass on that one. Like, not for me.
Yeah.
But who knows? I there's so much out there, so many different things. Do you guys do other stuff, or is it just the book?
Yeah. Well, I would suggest for you would be true crime. I mean, true crime, as long as it's not too gory, I don't like that.
Right.
When they're dragging people into their basement. The ugliest, we just did a true crime stories. We just finished it. It's in the review, which takes a long time. With the COVID virus, really slowed stuff down. How long did it used to be?
Well, like 3 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah,
you get stuff through ACX to be put onto Audible. Now it's taken like 2 months.
Oh yeah, two or over 2 months. So when you finish, it goes. Yeah.
We all kind of work independent, don't we? So why do you think it takes longer?
Well, they have their review for quality review, and they seem to just be really overwhelmed. Maybe the virus is the cause. That's what seems to have changed them. They're just really a lot slower. So we did this book, True Crime Stories. It'll probably be out for Halloween, but it's a really interesting book, and it was very easy to narrate, other than some of the stories we recognize from the news.
Right.
Yeah, that guy, that bus driver that kidnapped high school kids, he kept them in his basement for years. He even had babies with them, children with them. Yeah. He had them there so long. Wasn't one of the kids involved in the escape? One of the kids helped in the escape. So when you narrate it, what's that?
Weren't they in a shed in the backyard or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Ariel Castro, they said basement a lot, but he moved them around because he had them for years. So
out, huh?
Yeah, well, and it was interesting because these authors do the research of who he was, who each child was, the family they were from. So it's just like interesting, and it's a popular genre. That's another one that a lot of people see. Not many people buy legal books to listen to. It's just not a hot genre for audio. So true crime is pretty hot, romance is hot, and that's you find something people will want to hear, especially if you're a new narrator. And this is an underserved thing. Tim Tippett's was saying, we're very underserved in this industry. So people don't know, which way do I go? Well, if you're going to do a royalty share with an author and you get half of the, royalty from a sale and they get half, you got to make sure you're narrating a book that's going to sell.
Yeah.
Right? Because you're not going to get anything.
Skin in the game.
If it doesn't.
Interesting. I didn't even know that was an option. Narration has never been on my radar for voiceover, although I have talked to a few people this week that have brought up, the avenues for that kind of thing. There is some more availability because not everybody wants to do it. It's kind of like doing a Republican ad. Nobody will do it. So they're out. You know what I mean?
I do the gun rights. We'll do, she's got her dainty 20 gauge. We shoot clay pigeons. So we do the pro gun part. Outside of that, we're pretty liberal. Well, but we do love our dainty shotguns here in Utah. We get out by the mountain and you're just waiting for something to fly by, We'll throw our own stuff if we have to.
Get a little storm.
Are you?
Oh.
Whoa.
I've got 180.
Where are you?
I'm in Minnesota. We're
that's
west of Minneapolis.
Yeah.
How's Minnesota doing?
I stay here in my safe space.
There you go. Very smart. Okay.
That day after, 2 days after all that rioting and everything happened, after the third day of rioting, 2 days after that, I went down there. I have a couple of apartments down there that I own, and not good at all. It was real ugly. And I actually had one property come available, premium location, rents in a second in a normal world, but I had to drop it $300, and it took me 2 months to rent it because nobody wants to be there. They're flooded.
It changes like that. It's like just bang and then pow. Everything's different.
Yeah.
I'll give you one cool thing narrating. You are distracted from what's going on. So if the news is in your melon, you start to narrate. We get lost in the novel too. We're deep in it because we read it at least like 3 times altogether with kind of pre-reading, because you got to know who the characters are. I mean, you can't do a character and then find out in the 20th chapter that you've got this guy, your majesty, the demons are at the gate, and then it says in his deep baritone, and you go, I got 19 chapters of this guy being a wuss. So you have to have an idea
and read the book, and then you go through and narrate the book. Then do you do your own editing also?
Yeah, we do.
There are a lot of guys doing their own, sending out, and The problem is we've got people we can use to send it out. The problem is by the time we're not embarrassed anymore to send it out, it's already done.
Yeah.
We're like, okay, that's good. Let's send it to the post-production. It's like, well, it's done. Mostly it's just us. For us, it's mostly removing, getting it right. It's like repeating a line that you want to get. Right now she's practicing Madre de, was it? Oh míos, oh Dios mío.
Something like that. Por favor.
Oh Dios mío, por favor.
Keep doing it right there. Yeah, just like right that. There. Por favor.
Yeah. You got to get those. That's like I said, your orgasms have to be perfect. The fans are just so judgmental. So it's funny.
Spanish?
Sure.
Yeah. Oh, just this one line. This one line.
Oh,
yeah. In the throes of lovemaking, she reverts to her Spanish background.
Yeah, this book is written by Samantha Cole.
Mm-hmm.
She is retired New York City cop. She is retired NYC law enforcement. And can she write, man, like Tom Clancy?
Yeah,
she grabbed the 308, the scope lined up on the killer. There's bodyguard behind him. I mean, it's like center head, then the bodyguard slumped. Oh, 2 for 1. It's like, wow. I mean, we had a scene, we were interrupted. Got a call from Steve, I think. I don't remember. It was a podcast or something. We were really having fun because we were in a Lamborghini. She's grabbing my thigh. I got this assassin. We're headed to the hotel. I was getting excited. And then, we have to stop all that.
Then we got interrupted.
Yes.
Yes. Buzzkill. That's so good. Are there times like that you get so into it you have to like stop and like cool down? You know what I mean? Like, I need a minute. That kind of thing. Like,
because you just you get to finish in the no.
But sometimes we use it later.
Yeah.
While we're acting, we've had to stop when something was really touching. One time I looked like, "What's wrong?" And Jenna was like, "Man, this is good." I'm like, sometimes I get emotional. It's just. He mowed down 13 of those guys with his heckler and coat, reloads. So like, I need a second. Their brains splattered on the walls, guy stuff. But I mean, that's where it's fun because this lady's writing erotic romance with cops and assassin. Yeah. She's an assassin. That's fun. Sorry? Give you the name again? Yeah, Samantha Cole. She wrote Absolving His Sins. Her name is Samantha Cole. She's got a lot of books in Amazon and on Audible.
For stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Oh cool.
But I probably will have to listen to the narrated version now, just because.
Well, of course you will.
You hyped it up so much. What does the? So do you do a lot of work for different authors, or do you have like 10 those are your people?
Well, we love doing. Yeah, we love doing series. And so as we get, an author we'll start working with an author and then do a bunch of their books and then meet more authors and do a bunch of their books. So, but we're wide open to
we're talking
authors.
to people, but we have about 6 authors and about 4 we've done a lot for, and then we're open to that. It takes, like you said, a little while to get a book done. So one author who's got a lot to narrate could keep us busy till Christmas. I mean, Samantha might. She has a few books in her catalog she wants created for audio, so we'll be doing quite a bit for her, I think, because this is the first. And we have a lot of narrators will get backed up a year. I mean, we know guys that are backed up at a high rate too, hundreds of dollars per hour, and they're backed up a year. So it can be done. It isn't get rich quick. And GQ is my email. It's Gunnar Qualen, GQ at Scareo. Email me. I want to help in the community. We have a basic program. We recommend Tim Tippett's audition. Ready? Yeah. Well, that's good. It helps us narrators. We would just help someone with getting the room quiet and then some stuff on the industry. That's what we support. So I'm going to put a link right on Scareo, because Scareo.com, if you misspell it with a Y, you still end up at mine. It's Scareo. So thanks for letting us put that out there, Darren, because
no problem.
That's the fun part for us.
Yeah, it's just fascinating because I tell you, my background is real estate, and not like get in my car, I want to show you houses. I flip houses so I don't I don't work with people. I'm an appraiser, so I don't see people.
Mm-hmm.
So when I got into this industry, it's like I've met some of the coolest people and the greatest stories, because there's, you know, and a lot of people don't even, you know, obviously people listen to audiobooks, but they don't know you two are out there in the sound booth, like, you know, audibleizing orgasms and you know, getting critiqued by your mother or your fans on.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
yeah, and people, you know, people just take it for granted that, you know, someone just does this. But I actually, I follow a lot of comedians, and one of the comedians I follow, he narrated his own book. And somebody should have maybe talked to him a little bit before they allowed him to do that. It's not easy, and he did okay, but it could have been a lot better.
Oh yeah.
It's not a, and even in all the training and all the people, you know, it's not a big part of the industry, what you guys do. You know, everybody wants to be in commercials. Everybody wants to be the, you know, radio guy, da 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 da. But narrating books is, you know, it's a commitment. It's a lot of time.
Well, have you been in ACX? It sounds like you have. Have you looked at the?
Just told me about it earlier in the week. I found a couple things out this week that.
Yeah. Well, it changes every day, and there's some tricks. I'll email you. So email me, gq@scareo.com. There's some tricks to looking for books to narrate too. So you can waste a lot of time in there, but there's thousands of books every day. There's a couple thousand books. So you break it down. Do they want a guy or a girl? How do they want? They want young or old. They want young adult. You know, I don't audition for those. Then they want, because they're asking you to audition. So what to audition for, cutting through, because there's just too much. Yeah. It's encouraging. There's 2,000 books, but it's discouraging when you got to choose. So I'll email you on that, because that's what I could really help people with, is quit wasting time, because you don't have any to waste. And you need to find where the money is too. That sweet spot is where people are going full time and stopping all their other, you know, we had health insurance. You did real estate. We did health insurance for 30 years, which was really great, but it wasn't fun. And this is fun.
It's possible to make money for. I like you, I had an insurance agency. I've always had a bunch of businesses, but I had an insurance agency, and it just kind of went hand in hand with my real estate stuff. So I did it.
Well,
I looked at the health insurance part, and unless you're doing group or like big stuff,
that's what I did, was group
policies to make any money.
Yeah, especially now.
Group is where it was at, but even that, well, we're kind of in retirement, but we're too industrious to stop. People have begged us to stop.
But
we're not going to stop.
You I should have been a little more ready. I've got a button for that. On the job. So this is all you do, and now the real question is, do you work normal hours, or do you hey, let's do a 5 to 10 tonight, or
you
don't work
your own hours?
We're in our own house, and our kids are mostly grown. We've got one, but he's old enough to do his own thing. So we get to do it whenever we want.
We do it whenever
we do it whenever we want.
We do it any way we want, whenever we want. And I mean, this is all we do in terms of all we do, but there's, with the podcasting, then we do promotion, because we help the authors. Well, we'll do a video that promotes the book. They call it, book trailer, like it's a movie trailer. Those are fun to do, since we like doing this stuff. When you were talking social, for us, it's fun. So we don't mind, because that's, for us narrating, you get burned out. I know one guy's doing 12-hour days. He just won an award this spring. He's really good narrator, but his wife's a narrator too. And she says, he'll go before I get up, and he's staying up doing it after I've gone to bed. He's got this long day every day. Wow. Every day. And I was just like, I'm kind of retired.
Yeah. We don't work that hard.
So I got a lot of friends that work 4 hours. And that's
about 4 hours a day. Yeah.
And they're making enough. And that's even people in New York.
Wow.
Who need a lot of money. And then again, people get the wrong idea. Like, well, that's easy. I'll go and narrate and be rich. It has, like I said, it helps if you get some direction. And there is a few bucks involved. I recommend Tim's course, and that's $400. But my God, we both took that, and we both got our presets. And but that was the best money we spent. in the industry.
Yeah.
Was Tim.
Yes.
And then Tim Tippett's. And then we use ADK mics, which
we do.
Yeah, we got a couple of, we got like 5 ADK mics.
There's mine.
Have an intimate. Sorry, go ahead.
Was that a recommendation from Tim?
No, actually, he fell in love with mine, and I sent him one. You have to ask him because he was freaked out by, this is the ADK 49, he said. And then there's others. There's stuff that's high end. That,
show it again. Show it again.
This is mine.
Ooh, and here's mine.
There we go. There's like 5 right now. But yeah, we recommend ADK. And people like Ray Charles did his last 3 albums on ADK, won 5 Grammys. Chick Corea, Sting, the Beach Boys love them. And we like them. So there we go.
I just did the mic change for my studio because I've been doing these things for the podcast. I got like these things, and then I use a Sennheiser for the stuff.
Love some Sennheiser. You got a Shure SM7B right there for the podcast. Am I right?
Yeah, because I can have my air on. Where if I'm not completely soundproof, so if I'm using the Sennheiser, I got to shut it off and shut it down. And 3 times I've had it for probably 2 months. 3 times since I've gone to the digital thermostat in this degree heat, I forget to turn the back on. So I'm like, because this is my office. I don't have a studio in my house. Someday, I'm gonna kick these 2 college kids out first, then I'll get a nice.
See, that's
it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun when you get more of your house to yourself.
Oh God, yeah. You get an empty nest and then you read romance. That's the process.
I got to talk to my wife about this. I got to like the idea. I've got one going to San Diego on Sunday, and then I've got the other one going to Phoenix in September. So it'll get real quiet around the house because we've been together during the pandemic, So
yeah.
Interesting to. I don't know. I don't think they'll be gone that long. I think they're going to close everything back down and.
Does your wife narrate? Does she talk?
Nope.
Didn't want to.
No, we actually own an ice cream store. And she works with the little booger pickers at the elementary school when school's in session. Yeah, it's actually I've had some talks with her, but actually that's never come up. I should talk to her about it. That'd be kind of funny.
It's fun.
She's not.
It's fun to.
She's not involved with the business at all.
Okay.
But it's good for your marriage.
It would be.
It's fun. It's fun to read a romance as a couple. That's because a guy gets an insight into what a woman wants to hear.
Oh boy.
That's
true.
I'm going to download one when I leave the studio today. I got to hear this now. And it seems kind of a little weird because like now that I've talked to you guys and met you guys, now I'm going to go listen to your interaction. And I don't know what I think about that. It's going to be weird, but I'm going to do it.
Okay. Well, then, and let us know how our orgasm sounds, okay?
Yeah, that's the part I'm worried about.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Do you have
you need to rate it?
I should start with? What's your claim to fame? I'll start there.
Well, spicy stuff. I don't know. The ones we wrote ourselves is Saint Nick's Naughty Helper. I like that. If you're in a Christmas mood.
That sounds aggressive.
Yeah, it's short, and so that's
we'll give you a short and sassy one. One of the ones that he wrote. Yeah,
I'll send you that. And then we're doing another installment. Those 2. It's Nick and Carol. Saint Nick's Naughty Helper, Carol's Naughty New Year. We're doing the Halloween one. It right now is called Nick's Wicked Wand.
Oh my gosh!
That one's
like audio porn is what you're doing. Is it?
Yeah.
Well, they call it erotica.
Yeah.
That's a nice fancy word.
Our fans are pretty emphatic. This is literature. This is literature. No.
I like that.
So they're adamant.
Really? So you've got like regular followers that follow. You were saying before we got on the recording here that you've got people that come to shows and autographing and you're selfieing and now they're putting a face with the audio, with the sound. Is that, are you cool with all that? Is that like,
oh my God, it's a trip because the authors are the rock stars. So Samantha Cole has a big listener group and a big reading group. And then she'll post, hey, I'm getting my book narrated. And then we'll come in and say, hey, we've been working all day, and then we'll post a little thing and they'll all, oh, I can't wait to hear it. And so they're the ones who at the conventions get the crowds. But yeah, they'll hear us and go, oh my God, I can hear that so-and-so, he narrated that book. So,
and I want to touch on this real quick.
Keeps dripping down. Go ahead.
Oh,
I got it.
Your mic's
go ahead.
Dripping. Okay, I wanted to touch on this real quick.
Yeah.
We, as a couple, we've grown to understand how important positive, loving touch is,
right.
and especially, in a healthy sexual way. It's wonderful. It lowers your cortisol. It raises your oxytocin, serotonin. And so those who, anyone who can't get it through, being a couple and being intimate, a lot of people rely on love scenes in romance novels to get that sense of feeling connected, to get those loving feelings,
right.
and explore an orgasm that somebody else is having, and it's going to help it's healthy.
Yeah, it's healing.
It's healthy and healing. So our approach to these, all these love scenes is, we're very supportive of them. We think it's very helpful.
So you're providing a service. You're helping people.
Absolutely, a public service.
Is it Dr. Gunnar Qualen, or is it just Gunnar Qualen?
Just Gunnar, yeah.
Step it up.
We'll start calling you the doctor.
Dr. Feel Good. I like it.
That for your intro and outro for your video. There you go. That's right. I didn't know that. I guess it's just not. I'm a guy. That's not our.
Well, sure.
You have a lot of people that are into this.
Yeah. I mean, there are guys.
Voice.
Yeah, there are guys that like the romance. I like them now. I mean, you read a few dozen and you start to like certain authors and genres. So it's good for everyone to read them. It's great for a couple because you do see things that, I've turned to Jenna. Is that what you want to hear a guy say?
And yes, exactly. That's exactly what we women would like a guy to say in that particular moment.
There are themes in all the books that are very similar. So you learn. I mean, they do want men who are a little bit of a warrior. I mean, they don't have to be violent, but they've got to be strong. Yeah. And they need to be about protecting the woman. And we do, this is interesting, we do dubious consent, which consent's important. If you don't have consent, it's kind of rapey. But with dubious consent, you're kind of being forceful. And then Jenna's character will go, well, this is pushy, but I think I really like it. And there's a lot of that too, which is
yeah.
I'm in. I'm check it out. It's fascinating to me that you guys are cool. Just this day in, day out. That is so cool.
It's fun, all right.
But you don't talk about this at all on your podcast. The podcast is just scary.
Right.
Correct.
Normal.
Yeah, we're drifting more and more into support for the community, but we also, we've got, I'll give you an example. We had a contest that's ending now where we rewarded people for good stories, and they were sending in stories. One of our listeners who's listened to a lot of our books, if not all of them, said, I'm going to write a story, and it's her first story. It was really good. So we're going to narrate it into an audiobook, and she is like freaking. So supporting authors and other narrators. Yeah, she's so excited.
Yeah.
Wow, what an opportunity. That's
right.
That's cool. I'm guessing there's some ownership leverage in that one for you, right? Like obligations. She's got to be blown away if she's not even a writer or has never written anything, and all of a sudden, what an opportunity.
Yeah. She's got a story good enough and long enough, and now she said, wait, I got a part 2, another story. So it'll be, what's that called?
Oh, what?
Well, it's a compilation or just a double header. She's got 2.
Right. Yeah, and it's just novella size. It's not a long book. It's just a novella.
Yeah, but they have them down to, there are books in Audible that are 10 minutes, usually kid stuff. And then up around 20, 30 minutes, you might get erotica, and up around an hour is pretty short. But, it's better to do short books and then evolve into the Titanic rather than sink an 11-hour book. You got to know what you're doing to do an 11-hour book, you know.
Right.
Those are,
Is that what you're doing now? Is, you know, like
we're
7?
doing, I think right now it's a 7-hour, but our next one's 11
Right.
and a half. And so, yeah, you don't want to start with that. No.
You just read
You
20
gotta start.
hours a day. How do you find time to read books that people are sending in to win a contest? If you're reading an hour book.
Well, you know, it's a fun diversion. You know, it's just
Yeah.
You know, you clear your head, you go and get into the Scareo side of things. It's just,
we love a lot of social things like dancing. We love to dance. We were in a dance class when COVID hit. So when you're locked down, boy, is it ever a good time to be a narrator?
Yeah, that's true. We've had nothing but time.
That's what we do. Narrate. Yeah. And podcast for friends. So, yeah.
I'm finding that's almost a negative right now for those of us who were pre-pandemic, because everybody and their brothers buying a microphone and throwing a podcast up, which is great. But 100 million of them out there right now, which is fine. There's plenty of ears to go around, but even in the voiceover world with auditions and stuff, these people aren't at their 8 to 5s, so they got time to hit every audition, and it's made competitive.
Yep.
Yeah. Our niche,
we need to,
the fact that we narrate together is a helps.
You need a hook. Even if I was narrating alone, you have to find a hook that's your brand. And then it's not a bad idea to choose a niche, in my opinion, and choose a profitable one. And then you need a hook. And then you approach it a little differently. We do auditions when we see something we like or that we know we could really nail it. But pretty much our work comes to us now. And what do you got to lose? Start doing that now. And then, you know, in a few years, you'll have people asking you. And you don't have to go every day, all day. You can narrate as much as you want. You can release 3-4 books a year or 10. Sorry.
Say again?
Fine. I said I would just like to eliminate a couple of my other jobs so that I can, you know, narrow it down.
Focus.
They're all with all of them, but we got to wrap this thing up. We're running long here. Why don't you tell everybody where they can find your you know, what's the best way to reach you, and what's the best way to get more of Gunnar and Jenna?
Yeah. Well, search for it. If you're on Audible or iTunes, Gunnar Qualen, Jenna St. Clair. Scareo is us, Scareo. So if you go to facebook.com/Scareo, there's our page. And it even has a number to reach me. It's got my email. It's got everything. So you can reach us that way. Scareo.com, Scareo.com. We're collecting scary stories.
We are. And he has his own pentagram where you can just conjure him up.
Conjure me with a candle.
Yeah.
I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
I don't know.
Saying I'm a demon, you know. Stuff,
He's a demon in the sack.
Whoa.
Good hell.
I
don't know how I'm gonna pay enough for that.
You're all in on the ghost.
Yeah, we like the scary stuff.
Sure.
So yeah, it's Scareo.com, and thanks for everything. Darren, I want to talk to you some more after we're off this.
Right on. Let me turn this off and that off. Hold on.